Everybody be quiet. Good morning, gang.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. I see everyone coming to class. Hello. All right. First thing we'll do once everyone's here is check our homework on page 536 if you want to get that out. All right. We're almost all here. Abby, yeah.
Can I use the restroom?
Yeah, but hang on, Nathan, before you go, I have a message from Mrs. Warner. Mrs. Warner asked me to ask you to please come to class today.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot yesterday. My bad.
But no, she said you haven't been there in a while. Do you normally not go to religion class?
No, I do.
Oh, okay. She wants to make, so I don't know what they're doing today, but she wants to make sure you're there. Okay.
This is Palmer.
Yep.
The heck?
Did you get my comment on Google Classroom for what I got for number 31?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Was it right?
Yes, I got you and Abby and Emma and Nicholas for the extra credit.
Okay.
Was there anyone else who wants to show me the extra credit before we start?
Hi, doggies.
I know. It's like a zoo here.
Seems like it.
It's really funny, though, because I've always been, like, very afraid of dogs growing up in my whole life. And then I got a dog. And then he broke my arm. I don't know if you guys remember that. And now there's 3 dogs in my house because I have some visiting dogs. So, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Wait, I have everyone here. Was there anyone else who wanted to show me their extra credit? It was number 31.
Me.
Gavin?
Yes. Let me just get my thing.
All right, Gavin, you can, anybody besides Gavin? You have to speak now because once Gavin gives his answer, then I can't count anyone else's. I have Lauren, Emma, Abby, Nicholas, and I'll have Gavin. Anyone else?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Gavin.
I put in
Banana.
the first parentheses. I put Q plus 2R, and then the second one Q plus 9R.
Got it. That's it. Very good.
Banana.
Right now, those were worth +2 if you did that. So, I already put those in my book. It's not. I put your grades in like every Friday, so it won't be online yet, but it will be in this Friday. It's in my book. Okay, let's check our. Oh, the other thing is Some Dog. Some Dog is due Friday. You guys have 50 questions to answer in Some Dog, so don't forget about that too. Okay, number 19. You should have 2x plus 3 times the quantity x plus 8. Right? These were the ones that were a little bit harder when our coefficient of our first term is not 1.
Wait, did you say x plus 8 or x plus 14?
2x. Oh, yeah, I'm saying something different than what I wrote. Thank you, Abby. 2x plus 3 and then x plus 8. Thanks, Abby. Okay, number 21. Emma, what did you get for number 21?
I got in parentheses 2x plus 10 times the quantity 2x plus 1.
Two x plus 10 and 2x plus 1?
Yeah.
Good. All right, let me hold that up so you guys can see it. Number 23.
Mrs. Palmer.
Yeah.
For that one, I said 4x plus 2 and x plus 5. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Let me look. 4x plus 2 and x plus 5. Yeah, both of those. Do you know what we need to do really for both of them? Because I can see both of those could be factored further, right? You could take a 2 out of one of your parentheses. So let's do this for number 21. Number 21 starts out with 4x squared plus 22x plus 10. Before we even get started, we need to factor out a 2. Okay, and we'll be left with x squared plus 11x plus 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. And we should go from there. Okay, so it should look like this so far. All right, and then in parentheses, I know I have to have 2x and x, a plus and a plus. And the only way I can get 5 is 5 and 1. I have to figure out which way to put them. And it's like this. 2 times the quantity 2x plus 1 times the quantity x plus 5. And then Emma and Lauren, I want you guys to notice, if you factored a 2 out of one of your parentheses from what you had, you'll end up with this. Right? Look at the answer you had and factor out a 2, and you should end up with, so this is the completely factored way. Emma, you'd probably have to factor out a 2 twice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 23. Yeah, so don't forget to first step, look at it and see if there's anything you can factor out. 23, Gavin.
I got 2x plus 3 and x minus 3.
Yes, that's correct. Good. 2x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay. Good. Number 25. Karen.
Miss Turner,
Yeah.
what about all the evens?
Didn't I assign odds?
I thought you assigned evens too.
Let me look at that. 19 to 29 odd and 31 is a bonus.
Oh, then I did odds and evens.
Well, that won't hurt anything. It was probably so much fun doing them.
Okay, so
Okay. Karen, what'd you get for 25?
yeah, we can find any for the next one. So I just said prime for.
You're correct. That is a prime. Good job. Lots of times you guys like to say prime, prime, prime. In this case, Karen is correct. That is definitely prime. And what I liked about I liked what you said was I tried a bunch of ways. I couldn't find anything. It's not like she just looked at it and said, oh, prime. She went through and tried all the combinations. Nothing worked, and it was definitely prime. Good job. All right. 27, Lauren. And Lauren, before you answer, did I tell you guys odd or did I tell you all?
You said odd.
Odd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
should
Only.
Just checking.
19 to 29.
So you
Okay,
probably could have factored this out, but I said 12x plus 9 and x plus 5.
Okay, good. Factor out a 3 from that first set and tell me what you end up with.
4x plus 3.
Yeah. So you're going to factor out a 3 and then have 4x plus 3, x plus 5. So that was good, Lauren. You just have to go further, okay? Because you could factor that first set further. When you had 12x plus 9, you can factor it more. So it works best if you factor from the beginning. It's like easier to do. But if you don't, it's okay. You could factor it from where you were at. All right. That was 27. So 29 goes to Matthew.
I said in the first parentheses,
Mhm.
5x plus 8, and then
Yep.
in the second one, x plus 3.
Good. Awesome. Okay. And I did have number 31 from those of you that did it. You did that one correct for 2 points. And your tests, I have all of them and they're all graded and you did really well. I think factoring is one of the more difficult concepts that we have to learn in Algebra 1 and you guys did a great job with that. Yep.
My brother, I was telling my mom about what we were learning in math, and my brother said he asked how far they got last year to see if we were ahead of them.
Oh, really?
So
What'd he say?
Are we ahead of them? Or like
I think with the 8th grade, you guys are pretty much at the same. Let me look. So I have last year's book here too, because they finished everything they needed to. So what were they doing? The only thing they were doing more of at this time, where are they at? Keystone Algebra. They were practicing like today, on this day, they were doing a packet and we haven't done our packets for a while. So you're probably like ahead in the book, but we were doing like a little bit more review stuff because they had to take the test for sure. We're still going to practice, but we're going to cover everything first. Okay. And then we'll practice for what I'm not sure because I don't know when you guys can take the test, but we'll practice anyway. Our next topic is factoring special products. Okay. And I think I told you guys that my favorite thing to do is factor. My favorite math is algebra. My favorite topic is factoring. My favorite factoring is special products. So this is the best section in the whole book. On page 539, factoring special products. And so I want you guys to open up your book to page 539. There's this highlighted area on page 539. It's called the difference of 2 squares. This is my favorite thing in all of math. The difference between 2 perfect squares. Okay. You know how sometimes they'll give us formulas and they just give us the letters? All right, you don't have to write this part down, but I'll just show you the letters.
Mrs. Palmer, can I interrupt you a minute?
Yep.
Hi, 7th grade.
Hello.
Hi, Mrs. Winters.
Hello.
Mrs. Winters.
So I came to talk to you about something, and I just kind of want to let you know what's happening. Just so that you're aware that the diocese has now said that your specials classes, which would be not Spanish, but it would be music and art, technology, STEM, are all going to pass-fail. So at the end of this mess is what I call it, is on your report card, you're either going to have a pass or you're going to have a fail on your report card. So now keep that information in mind, because I'm also going to send that out to your parents today to let them know that that's what they're going to see on your report card. So then that brings me to the subject of people not doing their music and artwork. So I want you to understand that if you don't do those things and that those assignments remain missing, that you will end up with a fail on your report card at the end of the school year, and which is only a couple days away. I'm going to make a suggestion to you. Yeah. I'm going to tell you how I feel about this. I feel that if you have done nothing in those classes, not even one assignment, that it is disrespectful to your teacher. And while you may not put music and art in the same categories as math or ELA or whatever it may be, they are still at home working for you. So if at the end of the day, you're okay with having a fail on your report card, then that's the choice that you've made, and you have to live with that. And that will follow you. Obviously, report cards are permanent record. If, however, you don't want that to happen, and you would like to reach out to your teacher and say, look, I'm 9 behind. I'm sorry I didn't do them. Is there any way that I could have an alternate assignment so that I don't have 9 assignments to do? And explain to her or her why you haven't done them, then that might be an option for you. but I just want you to know, I'm just making sure everybody's aware that that's what's going to happen at the end. And you are in control of that. I can't change that for you. No one can change that for you but you. So I'm going to put it in your hands, and I'm going to say, if that's okay with you, then you have nothing more to worry about. You don't have to do anything. But if you don't want that at the end, and you don't want that to be on your report card, then I would suggest that you reach out to those teachers and just say, what can I do? Okay? Yes? Shake your head.
Okay.
Do something. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. All right. That's it. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Mrs.
Bye.
Winner.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yikes. Is there people who haven't done anything in music or art? All right.
I think I'm all caught up with mine.
Oh, good.
I've just been working on this one art assignment because it's been taking me a while to finish it.
Okay. Well, maybe if you just, like Mrs. Winter said, reach out to Mrs. Nora, let her know you're working on it. Okay. So we were talking about my favorite thing ever, the difference between two perfect squares. When they give us the formula, it looks like this. A squared minus B squared equals A plus B, A minus B. It never means a lot like that. So we're going to look at some examples that kind of make it a little bit better. So look at example 1A. It is, okay, so this one you want to put in your notebook so you have it. 16h squared minus 9a squared. Okay, when I see something like this, it's not a trinomial, right? Because there's not 3, there's only 2. It's a binomial. But this is the difference between two perfect squares. I can't even tell you how happy I am when I see this. If I saw this problem, I'd go 16 and 9 are perfect squares. And h is squared and a is squared. This is the difference, because we're subtracting, the difference between two perfect squares, and I know exactly what to do. Okay, difference between two perfect squares. I set up my 2 sets of parentheses. First step, 2 sets of parentheses. The first set is plus. The second set is minus. I stick that in there. Okay. And then I just have to take the square root of the first one, 16h squared. All right. I'm going to say 4h and 4h. Okay. Because the square root of 16 is 4. And the square root of h squared is h. So I have a 4h and a 4h. Now my last term is 9a squared. I break that up into 3a and 3a. And my answer is 4h plus 3a, 4h minus 3a. And that's how you do difference between two perfect squares. These are beautiful. Okay. They give us another example, B. Go ahead and look at B. We're not going to put B in our notebook because I'm looking at that and I see 121 c to the 4th. I'm excited. I know 121 is 11 squared. And c to the 4th is like c squared times c. That's a perfect square. Minus 25. That's a perfect square. And then I see it. D to the 3rd. Okay. D to the 3rd is not a perfect square because there's nothing. Perfect squares would have to be even. Okay.
If we did perfect cubes, that would work.
Yeah. That would be a perfect cube. If I'm doing perfect squares, my exponent of a variable has to be even. So no, I can't.
Will we ever get to that? Like perfect cubes? Okay. I didn't know if there was something like this.
No. So this one we can't factor any further. So that's a no. All right. So determine if it's the difference of squares, right? Yes or no. Okay. So we're going to put these examples at the bottom in our notebook. 1a, 81 minus c squared. So you have to look at those and say, is this the difference of two perfect squares? It has to be subtraction. It is. Is this a perfect square? Is this a perfect square? Matthew, what do you think? Is 81 a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Good. Is c squared a perfect square?
Yes.
So that's a yes. So we set up 2 sets of parentheses and we throw in a plus and a minus. We start out like that. And Matthew, what's the square root of 81?
Nine.
Good. And the square root of c squared?
C. So it'd be 9 plus C, 9 minus C.
That's it. Very good. 9 plus C, 9 minus C. Okay. Love
As a girl, Betsy helped with the care of her younger brothers and sisters. So the intransitive verb is.
Let's look at 1b. 36 n squared minus 27m to the 4th. Okay. Let me go to Lauren. Is this the difference between 2 perfect squares, Lauren? Is it the difference? Is 36 a perfect square?
Yes.
Is n squared a perfect square?
Yes.
Is 27 a perfect square?
No.
No. So this is a big no. We'll just write no.
Yes.
Okay. That's not the difference between 2 perfect squares. All right. Let's look at 1c. 25y squared plus 1. All right. I'm going to go to Nicholas. Nicholas, is this the difference between 2 perfect squares?
Yes. Wait, technically no, because it has like addition, so it wouldn't be the difference. It would be the sum.
Yep. So it's a no. This was a trick, right? We get all thinking about yes, 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 but then Nicholas did notice, no, technically that's not subtraction. So this is not the difference between 2 perfect squares. You can't factor that one. The only reason the difference between 2 perfect squares works out into the 2 sets of parentheses is that the middle terms cancel each other out. So if you had addition in there, they wouldn't cancel each other out. All right, let's try this last one on the page before you leave me. 64g squared minus h squared. Abby, are you with me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Abby, is this the difference between 2 perfect squares?
Yes.
Yes, it's subtraction. 64 works, g squared works, h squared works. I can make 2 sets of parentheses. I put in a plus and a minus. Now tell me what goes in there also, Abby. What goes in my parentheses? So you're going to take the square root of 64 g squared and put it for your first terms, and then the square root of h for your h squared for your second terms.
Would it be
8g.
8g?
And then what goes after that?
Plus 1.
Plus, there's an h. So
Plus the h. Sorry.
and 8g minus h. Okay. So that's our first special product. I'm going to give you some problems to practice tonight. I'm going to give you on page 543 numbers 1 to 6. Okay, you're doing the same thing. You're saying if it is and factoring it or if it is not. In 1 through 6, there are 2 that are no, just so you know. All right. I don't want you to be like racking your brains. 2 of them are no's. And I'm going to give you a couple to do at the bottom. Number 20. And 24. So that'll give you 8 problems to give you a good practice on this, okay? And you also have your sum dog. Other than that, you guys are all doing really well. Your test are done and you did great. So this is your new concept. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? God bless you. All right. Any questions for Mrs. Palmer?
No.
No.
Okay, then I will let you guys go, and maybe you could take a quick break of 2 or 3 minutes before religion. All right. Have a good
Okay, see
day.
ya.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
you too. Bye.